like to introduce and invite on stage Ramesh Sindangbi, Senior Vice President of Information Technology and Logistics at Dubai Duty Free. Now, he's here this morning to talk about procurement and logistics at Dubai Duty Free, the world's #1 travel retailer. Now, Ramesh leads the team that oversees the development of DDF's retail offer for both Dubai airports. And after starting the information technology function in 1987, he has led the implementation of all of their systems. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Ramesh Sindangbi.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks very much, Extra, for the introduction. And it's fantastic to see all of you guys here. 700 people on a Saturday morning when you could all be doing many other things in Dubai on a Saturday morning. So give yourself a big hand. What I wanted to do today really was to talk to you a little bit about the Dubai Duty Free story and about technology, about procurement and logistics. The first bit of the presentation is to get this technology to work, which it is doing at the moment. The second part of it is to get this technology to work, which it's also doing. I started at Dubai Duty Free in 1987, which makes me very old at the moment. I was telling someone that from now on, I'm going to start saying that I've been with the Duty Free for about 10 years, so that they'll date me less, as opposed to saying that I've been there for 28 years. But Dubai Duty Free is, as Baxter said, the #1 travel retailer in the world. And to just give you the context of that, I'll talk to you a little bit about the travel retail industry, which is a $63 billion industry. And within the travel retail industry, there are multiple channels. There are ferries, there are airlines, there are off-airport shops, there are border shops, and the airport shops, of course, which is our business. So Dubai Duty Free is part of the airport shops channel, which is a $36 billion industry within the overall $63 billion travel retail industry. And if you take the same $63 billion, and if you divide it by region, then the Middle East contributes about $5 billion to it, and the duty free is under half of that. And historically, and for many years, Europe and Asia Pacific have been the biggest two regions within the broader industry. But the Middle East has been one of the fastest growing industry regions for many years. And then finally, if you take the same 63 billion and you divide it by product groups, then you see that perfumes, cosmetics, and wines and spirits are the major share of the business. Perfumes and cosmetics is about $19 billion out of $63 billion. And there are other areas also that are reasonably big. Many of you, when you think of airport duty free, when you think of travel retail, you typically think of alcohol, tobacco, and perfumes and cosmetics. But to be fair, alcohol and tobacco and perfumes and cosmetics are not the only thing that we sell in airport shops or within the travel retail business. We sell lots of other things, as you see in this chart. And if you take the business and divide it by the companies that are operating in it, it's a fairly fragmented business. There are about 8 or 10 companies that have about 50% of the share, and the remaining share is split into many small entities. So as a company, Dubai Duty Free is ranked number 8, but as an individual travel retailer, we are ranked number 1. And the reason for that is because many of the names that you see here, Duty-Free, DFS Group, Heinemann, World Duty Free, they all run multiple shops in multiple locations on many different airports, whereas we only run the shops in both of Dubai's airports. And we are the single largest retailer in the world. And the reason that you see all these figures for 2014 is not because I want to be behind the times, but it's because the compilation of figures has not been done yet by Generation Publication for 2015. And we expect to see the 2015 figures in June of this year. Coming to Dubai Airport, where we are based, we are operating in Terminal 2 on the other side of the runway, and we are operating in concourses A, B, C, and D on this side of the runway, and in, of course, Terminals 1, 2, and 3. And I'll very quickly show you some pictures of a retail offer. This is the retail offer in Concourse A. This opened in January of 2013. It's a fantastic retail offer, and it's currently doing about 21% of our total sales. Then I'll show you Concourse B, which has been there since October of 2008. It's the busiest concourse in the airport, and it contributes to about 36% of our business. Concourse C is the oldest concourse. It opened in April of 2000, and now doing about 20% of the sales. As many of you might know, in February of this year, in February and March, we transitioned to a new concourse called Concourse D, and Concourse C is now being used mainly by Emirates Airlines. And these are the pictures from Concourse D. This is the latest retail offer that we have. It's about 8,000 square meters. It's a walk-in duty-free. Every single passenger who uses this concourse has to walk through the duty-free shops. And this shows you the liquor and tobacco offer, the food and confectionery offer, perfumes and cosmetics, which is about 24% of our business, gold, which has always been very strong for us, and it's a feature of this concourse. And we have a very strong fashion offer here. Now, we have Burberry, we have Tiffany, we have several of the leading brands in this, and probably after Concourse A, the best fashion offer within the retail business that we have. In addition to, and of course, Gifts from Dubai. In every one of our concourses, we have a Gifts from Dubai shop so that people have a sense of place. When a passenger comes in on a flight from Sydney and he's going to London and he transits through Dubai, we want him to know that he's in Dubai. And that's the reason that we have the Gifts from Dubai offer prominent in all the concourses. We also run the operation in Terminal 2. Terminal 2 is the fastest growing terminal in the airport because of Fly Dubai. Fly Dubai did 9 million passengers almost last year. It will do 20 million passengers in 2020, and it is the second biggest airline at Dubai airport. Not KLM, not Air India, not Air France, not any of those people. It's Fly Dubai. And we are there. And we are also there in Dubai World Central, in the passenger terminal building in Jebel Ali. We opened this facility in 2013. It's a small facility with a capacity of about 5 million passengers, and now we are expanding it to 25 million passengers. Fly Dubai has started flying from there, and eventually they will transition more flights to the PTB. But I'll talk a little bit more about that towards the end of my presentation. So with all this real estate that we have, 34,000 square meters or 36,000 square meters of real estate in the airport, what are we doing with it? We sold a little bit of merchandise. So we had 16% growth over the last 32 years. We started off as a $20 million company in 1984, and we are just under $2 billion now. And when I joined the company, we were doing about $50 million. So it's been a fantastic growth over a 32-year period at the rate of 16% per year. So this gives you the context to what I'm going to talk about next, which is the role of procurement, logistics, and technology, and which is the principal topic of this conference. In terms of procurement, the challenge for us really in procurement is the very wide, and before I start to talk about procurement, I'll give you a little bit of a background in terms of technology so that you understand what the challenges are as far as procurement goes. In terms of technology, we did many things over the years, but the big change that we did was in 2000, we implemented the Oracle E-Business Suite, and in 2008, we implemented the Oracle Retail applications, mainly to support the procurement function and the technology function within the company. And this diagram gives you a quick look at the technology infrastructure that we have, and all these things that you see in orange are part of the Oracle Retail applications. This is the Oracle E-Business Suite in red. Then the Oracle Commerce, our online offer, the point-of-sale system, and automation, the blue box at the bottom for the material handling and control system. So what I want to emphasize to you this morning is that in order to support a $2 billion business, in order to support a 24-hour operation, in order to be able to do 25 million sales transactions a year, you need a strong technology foundation to help the people who are in procurement and to help the people who are in logistics who are supporting the business. And for us, the Oracle Retail implementation was a very key part of that. And what the Oracle Retail implementation did in 2008 was gave the procurement people a much better way and an easier way of handling the master data, gave them better visibility in terms of merchandise and inventory across the organization, and helped them with things like price management, managing discounts, managing promotions, and all of those things. So those aspects, the technological underpinning that is there, helps them in facing the challenges. And the first challenge really for them is the fact that we sell a wide variety of merchandise. Most people don't realize that we sell about 24 different categories of merchandise, and we sell them in fantastic volumes. To give you an example, if you take confectionery and food, we sell about 16 tons of confectionery and food a day. 16 tons. We sell 3 tons of gold in a year. We sell 4 million bottles of perfumes in a year. We sell 8 or 9 million bottles of alcohol in a year. We sell 3 or 4 million cartons of cigarettes. We sell 40 or 50,000 iPhones. So for procurement, the first challenge is to deal with this wide variety of merchandise and to manage the purchases across this range, because they're not dealing with just 1 or 2 categories. The second challenge that they have is that the purchases come from both local and imports. 65% of what we buy comes from the local market, and 35% of what we buy comes from imports. And the challenges are different for our procurement people, whether it is imported or whether it is local. If it is imported, then the principal challenge is that the lead times are longer, the planning process is longer, the coordination with the brands in terms of the stocks that they want is a longer exercise, and you need time to get the stuff down, clear it, price it, get it ready in the warehouse to be able to sell it. With local purchases, you can have more frequent purchases, you can buy more quickly, but to a large extent, you're dependent on how good the supply chain management is of your local agent. And many times when you have out-of-stock situations with local purchases, you're out of stock because your local agent was out of stock. So they firstly buy at a wide variety of merchandise, then they buy locally and from imports. Thirdly, they buy in multiple currencies. So for example, with our imports, 75% of imports is in US dollars, and then the other currencies, because many of the suppliers who are supplying goods from places like Europe have also gone to dollar pricing. And when you do dollar pricing, you have advantages and disadvantages. If you have a strengthening dollar and a weakening euro, for example, suppliers are not so quick to reduce their prices because they're priced in dollars. Eventually, you get the reduction in benefit, but it's not that fast. And they buy from a variety of locations. No? It's very difficult to know the exact breakdown in terms of origin of the goods, but all we can see from this really is the location where the people are, no? For the imported merchandise. And the UAE is 20% mainly because many suppliers here have operations in the free zone, and technically we would think of them as an imported supplier. So in order to help the purchasing department and the procurement guys to meet the challenge in terms of both the range of merchandise and in terms of where they're buying from, we have a strong logistics function to support them and to support the overall business. And the challenge in terms of logistics really is that our sales comes from a variety of locations. When you think of Dubai Duty Free, if I did a pop quiz just now and I asked you how many shops does the Duty Free have, some of you might say 10, 20, 30, 40. We have 160 shops within the airport. And not many of you would think of us as having 160 different retail outlets, over 36,000 square meters. And the sales on all these different concourses have, over a period of time, got more and more fragmented. In 2008, Concourse C, which is the old concourse, gave us 75% of our business. So from a logistics point of view, it was easier because 75% of your business came from one terminal. Today, it's completely fragmented. You have Concourse C giving you about 21%, Concourse B giving you 36%, Concourse A giving you 22%, and so on. So the challenge in logistics really is to support a fragmented retail business on multiple locations across a big airport campus. And in order to do that effectively, and in order to do that properly, what we did was we built a distribution center, and we opened this in 2008 in order to do the logistics function as well as possible and to support a 24-hour business. And the central feature of the distribution center is a strong warehouse management system. And the warehouse management system is from Oracle Retail, and it's the boss, and it's the umbrella under which the whole operation functions. And the warehouse management receives orders from the merchandising system that I spoke to you about earlier, and directs the orders to various components within the warehouse and within the automation that we have. And we have 4 different subsystems in terms of automation. And the first one is this is just a shot of the receiving yard and the interior of the receiving. But the first part of the automation is we have a ASRS-based, stacker crane-based pallet storage system. So we can store 20,000 pallets within this automated system. So that speeds up the receiving function and the put-away function of the stuff that we get in. And at any point in time, this pallet storage system is at about 87 to 88% occupancy, between 85 to 90%, depending on the season. So the WMS sits on top, and then underneath sits the pallet storage system. Because many of the items that we buy, and I spoke to you earlier about the range of the items, as in perfumes, cosmetics, and so on, many of them are not suitable for palletized storage. So if you, for example, if you're buying lipsticks or you're buying eyeliner, you can't have one pallet of lipsticks, okay, of a single reference. So we have tote systems to support that. And this is a shot of our tote system where we have 10,000 totes where you can keep small items of merchandise. And we have another tote system called a shuttle, in which we can store another 17,000 totes. So these 2 systems, which give us a capacity of about 27,000 totes, are what we use for storing perfumes and cosmetics and other kinds of smaller items. And then the final challenge for us here really is the picking. As all of you know, as logistics professionals, the cost in logistics and cost in running a warehouse is really a function of the cost of picking. If you had to do 1 pick for 100 pieces of an item, or do 2 picks for 50 pieces each, but equal to 100 pieces, the cost of doing 2 picks is obviously is double the cost of doing 1 pick. And what the tote system and the pallet storage system does is it allows us to do the picking in an efficient way. And I'll show you just one slide of the pick station that we use from the shuttle system. So these 2 guys are standing in front of a workstation, and these 2 workstations alone do 2,400 picks a day of perfumes and cosmetics. And it's a fantastically efficient way to run it. They get the totes presented to them automatically. They pick from the storage tote, they pick into a dispatch tote, and the totes get taken away automatically. And they just stand in front of a workstation and do this 8 hours a day. And after all the stuff is picked, they get consolidated, they get scanned, and then we send them to the airport. Last year, we sent 167,000 pallets of merchandise to the airport in 16,000 trips. So the the message that I want to drive here, in terms of what you saw with reference to procurement and logistics, is firstly, have a strong technology base, and secondly, automate the warehouse if you have the volumes that we have. Because a question that we are asked frequently in presentations like this is, why do you automate? Why can't you just run a manual operation? And the reason that I always say, the reason we automate really is to get the ability to pick at these kinds of volumes and the ability to manage peaks. For example, our average picking per day was 7,300 picks in 2015. But on the 5th of December, we did 13,000 picks. So we doubled the number of picks on that day within the same amount of time because we had the automation and because we had the productivity in terms of picking. And we are an example of how you can have an automated operation running in Dubai, which is robust, which is resilient, and which is supported by the ecosystem that we have here. So there's no need for you guys to go to Munich or Milton Keynes or somewhere to see an automated operation. You can come to Dubai Duty Free and have a look. And it's really an example for this region, and now you see more and more retailers doing it. So that was a quick look at our logistics and procurement function. I'll spend 2 minutes on the future because the future is exciting, and everything in Dubai is, of course, always exciting. And the first bit of the future is Expo 2020, which is happening in the exhibition city area of the Dubai South development. This is a master plan of Dubai South, and the big bit here, this yellow bit that you see here, is all the future development of Al Maktoum International Airport. And the existing passenger terminal building is the small blue thing that you see here. So this blue thing is going to be expanded to take 25 million passengers, but this development will eventually be an airport for 135 million passengers. And 135 million passengers, ladies and gentlemen, to give you scale, is bigger than any other airport. It's bigger than Atlanta O'Hare. It is bigger than Chicago. It is bigger than any airport that you can think of at this point in time. So, and that is only in the first phase. We are building 2 concourses for 135 million capacity, and Dubai Duty Free is already working on the retail planning of this development for an airport that is expected to open in between 2023 and 2024. So that's what keeps us excited, that's what keeps us motivated, and all of us at the Duty Free are really looking forward to this development. I have a couple of minutes to take any questions that you might have, but thank you very much for your attention and for being here on a Saturday morning.
Ladies and gentlemen, do we have any questions in the audience? If you can raise your hand, stating your name, your company, and your one question.
Thank you.
My name is Ilya. I'm coming from Dubai Cooperative Society, Al Islami Foods, head of supply chain.
Okay.
I'm just curious, what is the percentage of your supply chain overall cost comparing with the turnover you are doing in the airports? And as a sub-question, what is the return of investment of this investment that you did for automating the warehouse and all this?
Can you just repeat the first sub-question? Sorry, I got the second question, which was the investment question on the automation. But what was the first question?
What is the percentage of comparing your turnover and cost of supply chain, procurement and logistics operation, warehousing altogether? What is the percentage of your cost comparing with the turnover?
Okay. In terms of the cost of the function, the logistics operation, we don't break the cost down as a percentage of revenue. So any figure that I give you would be just a guess, because we don't break it down and we don't try and calculate what is the cost of this. From our point of view, both the investment in technology and the investment in logistics and the automation is absolutely central to our business. It is absolutely business critical, and our business cannot function if we didn't have the investment that we have because of the size of the airport, the size of our retail operation, that and what is the expectation from the passengers. So I can't give you a number, but what I will do is that I'll be in touch with you on email, and if I have a better feel in terms of percentage of revenue, I'll be happy to share it. And in terms of the second part of your question, we invested approximately $200 million in the facility that you saw, both for the building itself, the distribution center, which is 27,000 square meters of area, and the automation inside and the racking and so on, and the head office itself, because we moved the head office from a building close to Terminal 1 in 2008 to this location. So the head office building, the distribution center, the automation inside, all of it is approximately a $200 million investment. Thank you, and thank you for your question.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ramesh Sindangbi.